Here is an aorta that has been opened up, and you could probably see a celiac and a superior mesenteric artery here. And if you look closely at the lumen or endothelial side of the aorta, you'll notice it is not quite uniformly yellowish orange like it should be. Please note that here, here, and here, and here, and here, and here are little yellow streaks. These are called fatty streaks, and they are the very earliest gross evidence for atherosclerosis, usually seen in teenagers or even children. We're looking at that same aorta now, only now microscopically. And even though this is the very largest blood vessel of your body, the intimal or luminal surface is basically the same as any capillary. It is lined by a single endothelial cell, which we're lucky enough to see probably here. Oh, maybe here. You'll see the nucleus of an endothelial cell. And this is a fairly normal wall then of the aorta. Please note that these little whitish, slightly refractile wavy lines represent the elastic fibers, even though this is not an elastic stain. If this was an elastic stain, these little whitish, slightly wavy areas would be intensely black. This is a fairly normal cross-section through the wall of an aorta, which is 90% elastic fibers and fibroblasts and smooth muscle cells. And now we're out to the adventitia, where you see a lot of the blood vessels, so-called Vasa Vasorum. Now, let's look at another part of this aorta, in which, once again, you can see these little wavy, whitish, slightly refractile lines representing elastic fibers through the wall, because the aorta and often its major thoracic branches are regarded as elastic arteries. Notice how as we get a little bit closer now to the east coast over here, that some of these elastic fibers and smooth muscle cells are getting a little bit whitish. They are being replaced by a kind of a granular, sort of whitish substance. This is precisely what we saw as the fatty streak. If the fatty streak was large enough to be palpated, it could probably be called a plaque. So here is a plaque. And the plaque, or the fatty streak, depending on whether you could just feel it or just see it or see it and feel it, is largely foamy cells consisting of macrophages, which are monocytes that have entered through these endothelial surfaces and deposited themselves subendothelially and are in the process of taking up a lot of cholesterol. This is the very earliest lesion of atherosclerosis, the fatty streak. Please note this is the most common on the luminal or endothelial part of the aorta, whereas the outer surface or adventitial surface is at least 2/3 of it or 3/4 is largely free of this foamy cholesterol material inside of macrophages. Thank you very much.